What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Anthony, and in today's video we are reviewing one of my all-time favorite movies from 1985, Back to the Future. Yes, today is July 3rd, 2020, and 35 years ago today, in 1985, Back to the Future was released in theaters. This movie is fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Bob Gale, and executive produced by Steven Spielberg, and stars Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Crispin Glover, and Thomas F. Wilson. Now, this movie from start to finish is fantastic. I can't stress enough about it. It's so good that I know every single dialogue in every single scene, and as I'm watching it, I do recite it, and it's interesting to do. You could say that I'm a nerd geek, and I welcome it because I absolutely love this movie. It tells the story of Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, who goes back to the year 1955 and then must try and find a way to return to the future in 1985. A lot of things happening, and there's a lot of things that move this story along. Marty kind of gets in the way of his parents meeting. Of course, I don't want to give any spoilers away if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen Back to the Future, what are you doing? You're missing out on a fantastic sci-fi time travel comedy movie. And from then on, his mother falls in love with him, and things start to unravel. And Marty tries to fit in. All the while, he meets Doc in 1955 and tries to get back. It's just great. The DeLorean itself is great, and there's a scene where Marty asks Doc, "You just built a time machine out of a DeLorean." And Doc goes, "If you're going to build a time machine, why not do it with some style?" Now, during the pre-production, as this movie was being made, the actual time travel device was a refrigerator, but Bob Gale, first choice to play Marty McFly. Eric Stoltz was the first choice to play Marty McFly. And there is some footage out there where we see Eric Stoltz playing scenes as Marty McFly. Evidently, they did change the role because of the dailies. The dailies weren't looking good. There's no chemistry between Eric Stoltz and Christopher Lloyd. You know, the studio and the director and the writer wanted Michael J. Fox at the first time, but he was on his sitcom Family Ties, where he was playing Arthur P. Keaton. Once Eric Stoltz got fired from Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox was then hired. And of course, Michael J. Fox at that time was definitely the hardest working man in show business. He's doing a sequence where Marty gets back to 1985 is really fast paced. The music is great. You have that overture of that Back to the Future theme music. It's really, really fantastic. If you've never seen this movie, you are missing out. And with the popularity of this movie and how it was number one for close to 12 to 14 weeks at the box office in 1985 is just interesting and stellar. And with that, the studio did garner 2 more sequels, Back to the Future Part 2 and Back to the Future Part 3. The acting is fantastic. Michael J. Fox is comical. Even Crispin Glover is really funny at times. Leah Thompson is the sweetheart from the 1950s. Bob Gale saw a high school yearbook with his father in it, and he thought to himself, what would it be like if I was in high school with my parents? And then from then on, the story came about. And and Steven Spielberg, executive producer, come on, what better person to executive produce and fund this movie than the man himself, Steven Spielberg. And Robert Zemeckis is a fantastic director. The studio didn't want him, but then, he made a movie called Romancing the Stone, which grossed a crazy amount of money at the box office. And then they hired him to direct, Back to the Future. All 3 Back to the Future movies. This is great. If you've never seen this movie, you have to, and you need to do so. Because I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this movie. If you haven't, why? Why haven't you seen it? Now let me know what you thought about Back to the Future in the comment section below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? And tell me why. And do you think there are plot holes in the movie that need to be explained? I don't think there's any. I think it's a perfect movie. Back to the Future gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. Be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new videos on my channel. And be sure you follow Marchio Productions on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at misterfilmstock. I'll leave a link to all the social media accounts in the description box below. You guys can follow along and check it out. I'm Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.